Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Andrew and today we are going to be talking about the Brooks Glycerin 22s. These were just released, they're brand new, and the Glycerin line is one of the flagship models within the Brooks running shoe line. Quick disclosure before we get started, Brooks did send me these Glycerins at no charge for the purposes of reviewing and trialing. So whatever I express today or my views are my own. Brooks is not paying me for this, and Brooks will not see this video before I release it. Another thing that I want to talk about real quick is the Glycerin line specifically. I have worn Brooks Glycerins now for probably 4 years. I'll put a photo up here you can see. I'm a diehard Brooks Glycerin lover up until recently. So back in the fall, I suffered a stress fracture and while running. And after recovering from that, going through PT and everything, the Glycerin just didn't feel the same for whatever reason. So I've been trialing and trying to find a new shoe ever since for running. And I was really excited about the 22s because I thought that this may be an opportunity for me to fall in love with the Glycerin again. And spoiler alert, I'm not very happy with this shoe and what Brooks has done with it. So let's get into it a little bit. I'm not going to go into all the details and specs of the shoe. You can find that online. You guys are adult or whatever. But like I said, this is Brooks's flagship premium daily trainer. It has the DNA tuned foam, which I was very excited about because this is supposed to be the same foam that was in a Brooks Glycerin Max, which I have right here. And I am a lover of the Glycerin Max. However, I have Fred Flintstone feet, so I need a wide shoe, and Brooks does not make the Glycerin Max in a wide. If they did, I would love everything about this shoe. It has a really tall stack, and it has the DNA tuned foam, which is like, it's not super soft. It is definitely responsive, and it really protects your foot. The tread on the bottom on this shoe is amazing and is incredible. So when I saw that the 22 was gonna have the same foam as the Glycerin Max, I was really excited because this feels really good on foot even after my injury. And this is the type of shoe, like if you're a bigger person or you're looking for a really protective shoe, this could be like the one shoe to do it all for marathon training, half marathon training, fast runs, tempo runs, recovery runs, slow runs, long runs, whatever. This shoe could check all of those boxes because of that DNA tuned foam. So when I saw that the 22s were gonna have that DNA foamed, I was really excited. But then I put it on and it was I was just disappointed. It's the same name, but the foam in the Glycerin Max, or the Glycerin 22 is nothing like what's in the Glycerin Max. And that was a really big disappointment for me. I'm sure Brooks has changed the makeup or the compound of this foam or whatever a little bit, but it's very dense. It's very hard. It almost feels like when I'm running, it feels like I'm running on a slab of wood. There's no cushion. There's no responsiveness. Pretty disappointed with that, to be honest with you, Brooks. And then the other part that I want to talk about too real fast is I said that I have Fred Flintstone feet. I wear a 10.5 wide, sometimes an 11 wide. And this is the Glycerin 21. I probably went through 5 or 6 pairs of these last year, and this shoe is really good. It's got a really wide toe box, really wide midfoot. It's got the DNA loft foam, which was okay, not the best, but okay. But I want to show you the difference in width. And I've noticed that Brooks is kind of, their wides are becoming more and more narrow. And I think that Brooks can do a much better job of reaching a wider audience if they made their shoes more readily available in wides, especially for people that have wide feet, people that have flat feet, bigger runners, shorter runners, whatever. People need wider options. And this is the 21, this is last year's model. And I just want you to take note, I don't know if you'll really see it that well on a camera, but how wide the forefoot is and the midfoot. And I was, again, really disappointed, Brooks, with the 22. I don't know if you guys can see the difference, but the new version, the 22, and this is a wide, same size, 10.5 wide as this one, significantly more narrow. So in the midfoot, I'll show you guys so you can see, the midfoot is significantly more narrow. The front of the foot, the forefoot or whatever, is a little less narrow, but I really notice it here, right in the midfoot, to the point that when I'm stepping down the side of my foot actually compresses over the foam, and it actually gave me a blister on the side of my foot right here wearing this shoe. Big disappointment, Brooks. So if you have wide feet, flat feet, and you typically order a wide, you're probably gonna have to go up to an extra wide. And I honestly don't even know if they make the 22s in an extra wide. You'll have to check into that. But I would imagine if they do make the extra wides, like a 4E, it's probably gonna feel more like a 2E because this is super narrow. The other thing that I don't like is the tread. It's like, it reminds me of, I know it sounds really corny, but it reminds me of like a cupcake design. And when I wore them out running, it was a little wet and a little slick out there. And I just felt like I was sliding all over the place, which again, with previous versions and previous models, I never had any type of issues with sliding. So that's kind of like 3 strikes, Brooks. And then the upper, so last year, the upper on the 21 felt really warm. There wasn't really good ventilation, and it just felt really thick. And I think that on the 22s, Brooks tried to remedy that and add more like ventilation, but it's still super, super thick. So if you get warmer feet, or if you run in a warmer climate or walk in a warmer climate, I don't know that you're gonna enjoy this because your foot is gonna get pretty warm and pretty sweaty pretty quickly. The other thing that they did, and I don't know if you'll be able to tell from this side here, from this image, the upper, so this part right here, the toe box, it comes to more of a point, whereas with last year's version, it was more rounded. So I've noticed that like my big toe and my next to the big toe is constantly jamming against that. And then the other thing that really drives me nuts, Brooks, I don't know why you did this, but I have high volume feet. So high volume is like this measurement here from the bottom of the foot up to the top of the foot. They have narrowed that down. So the stack, the height of this upper is significantly more lower. So when my foot slides in there, it's like pushing way up against the top. So I'm getting tons of pressure at the top of my foot, which makes it very uncomfortable. They totally made a move here for whatever reason or however they designed this shoe. It is significantly more narrow and more tight on the foot to the point that it's really uncomfortable. It's really heavy. And then the other part that just drives me nuts is the tongue is not gusseted. And there's no reason for this super thick tongue. I get they're trying to add protection and make it comfortable on the foot and provide a premium daily trainer experience. But Brooks, you are totally missing the mark. It's just way too much padding up here. And then combined with reducing the stack height in the upper, it puts way too much pressure on the top of your foot. And lastly, it's really heavy. It may be, if you put it on a scale, the same weight as the 21, but even just holding it right here in my hand, it feels significantly more heavy, which is a real disappointment. I don't know how else to say it. I was really excited about this shoe, had really high hopes because I thought it was gonna be more of this type of an experience, just like a mini version, right? Because if this is the Max cushion, this is the Glycerin Max, it's got the DNA tuned foam, super comfy, great all-rounder, the shoe that can do it all. The regular Glycerin I thought was just gonna be a little closer to that, especially because it was supposed to have the same type of tune, or the same type of foam, and it just doesn't. Also, maybe I'm nitpicking at this point, but I don't know why Brooks went and did this design on the sole. It's like too much. Like, it's like we're getting away from focusing on like performance and what really matters to athletes and people that are wearing the shoe, and you're just more worried about the aesthetic. It's pretty disappointing. And again, I've been a longtime Brooks Glycerin wearer. I've worn Glycerins for probably 4 or 5 years, maybe even a little longer than that. And just really disappointed, Brooks. I think you totally missed the mark on this. Maybe if you have a really narrow shoe, or I'm sorry, a really narrow foot, and you love the line, you'll like this. But for me, in my opinion, this Glycerin, which is supposed to be the premium daily trainer for runners, this is becoming more of a casual, everyday, you go to Dick's or DSW or whatever, and you get a shoe for lifestyle. You wear it for work or whatever. This is becoming less and less of a performance running shoe. It's not that great. And I'm sure Brooks isn't gonna be happy when they get my feedback, but it is what it is. Not happy with this shoe. I will definitely not be wearing it. It will not be in my rotation. I had really high hopes for it. I thought that it was going to bring the shoe back into my lineup and I was going to fall in love with it again. But Brooks, you really missed the mark on this one. I would not recommend the Brooks Glycerin 22, to be honest with you. Now, if you made the Glycerin Max and you added wide sizes, I would be much more interested in that. To me, this feels much more like a premium experience, a modern, up-to-date experience, and something that actually belongs on the market. And it looks really sharp. This, to me, the Glycerin, the OG Glycerin, it feels like you're living in a past and you're not moving forward. There's no new technology in here. You've done nothing innovative in here. You've said you've taken the same foam that was in the Glycerin Max and you put it in here. I gotta tell you guys, it is not anywhere near the same foam. So pretty disappointed with that. But yeah, that's my review on the Brooks Glycerin 22. Not all roses and sunshine over here, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm going to be trialing and testing out a bunch of other shoes. Like I said, I'm in the hunt for shoes since my injury that feel good on my foot. Brooks, make this in a wide because this would be a home run shoe for you because you've totally missed the mark on this. So guys, do me a favor. If you've enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button, follow along. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok and all those other cool places. I'm just getting into running. I'm less than a year into running now. So I'm going to be continuing to test out other shoes as I progress through training for my first half marathon here. All right. Thanks guys for watching and have a good one. Take care. Bye.